Okay, so there's something really wrong going on with Escape of Tarkov right now, and I think it's time we actually talk about it. For anybody clicking on this video or anybody who just happened to stumble across it and has no idea who myself or my wife are, we go by Six and Sparkle, and we are Canucka Nuts. Last wipe, we decided together to rebrand our stream and try something different. And we have tried Escape from Tarkov in the past, but this time around we actually made it part of our, this is what we're going to do, or what we want to do is learn Tarkov, because it is so hard and there is so much, risk versus, reward. Very high highs, very low lows. It's tough. We were told it's going to be the hardest game you ever try to play, but that was the challenge and that was the fun of it. And the stories we made, the friends we made, the content we were able to make of it for 3 months, which was absolutely fantastic. Ultimately, we put a bunch of time and money into our complete stream during this time when it came to like the studio, this room, everything else, her computer, yada yada. And kind of got burnt out after that time, and we took a big break. I was definitely feeling the itch to come back. I found myself watching more Tarkov videos, and I found myself watching more TikToks and YouTubes, what was going on, and new wipe coming out, and I got the itch. So I came back to Tarkov, and I've been making content ever since for the last week. A few hours a night, obviously, right? We have kids, we have careers. This is not our full-time thing. Obviously, we don't have the numbers for that, but we still enjoy it, and we still put as much into it as we possibly can without burning ourselves out, which I think is important, especially when it comes to Escape from Tarkov. So you could take this whole video with a grain of salt. This is just what I'm seeing. This is just what I'm noticing. And, I don't have many hours. I have 330 hours into the game. I have lots of YouTube and knowledge behind it, but physically playing it is what speaks for experience, right? That goes in anything in life. I don't care if you've watched 1,000 hours on how to build a house. It doesn't mean you know how to build a house. I've only played one wipe, fully every night, which was last wipe for 3 months. And the game felt good. It was challenging, and there was other things alongside it because it is Escape from Tarkov. And everybody knows Tarkov is Tarkov. There's only so much you're going to get out of it. There's only so much that's going to be fixed, and so much that's never going to be changed. So I guess we know how that goes. But that being said, maybe we have that, or I have that new car smell feeling. The honeymoon phase for last wife or the honeymoon phase of last wipe, where I just enjoy all of it because it is all new this time, and actually learning where everything is and the tasks and that sort of nature. I think right now, though, in this patch, there are some big issues going around and things that I've noticed this time around. I think my first point is going to be the flea market. There's obviously been some duping issues and things of that nature where people are obviously making money for free, and they're duping their gear and they're taking it back in, and they're able to sell it, do it with GPUs and sell it on raid, and people with LEDXs and all this other stuff, which has everybody running millions and millions of rubles all the time. Along with that comes the mixture between Arena and Tarkov, and the experience you gain from Arena goes over to the main game, and the money you make goes over to the main game, which has again thrown the Flea off completely. It's put people in better spots over the first couple tasks of the game. I died to a level 17 with no hours and not cheating, with who knows how many million in the bank before they even started the main game. Granted, again, I'm somebody that's new, and I suck, and I'm 40, and I'm old, and I have no reaction time. But Tarkov is meant to be hard, but it shouldn't be this unfair. When it comes to the Found and Raid, what made me want to make this video is I literally saw somebody this afternoon grab a random bag, pick up a GPU, put it in his butt, run around like a dummy, get shot in the face, and still sold it for 900,000 rubles. Where's the risk? You could find a LEDX, a Bitcoin, a GPU, put it in your butt, your safety container, whatever you want to call it, and still walk out with money. I found myself at the beginning of this raid going, hey, this is kind of neat. I found a couple of GPUs, put it in my butt, and knew I was going to have it. There was 800K. Didn't care what happened the rest of the raid. And after a couple days, I noticed it took the fun out of the game. The fun for me, the fun for my wife was going through and having that risk, moving out slowly to get it out, and feeling that sense of accomplishment when you did get it out. I think that's what Tarkov is really missing right now. And it's bigger than anybody thinks. And I think it's an issue that most high-end players, streamers, YouTubers, whichever, I don't know how much they're going to bring it up. But when you see top streamers at level 50 to 60 within 2.5 weeks, roughly, what has it been? Three weeks, maybe? Hasn't been that much. Hasn't been that long. It hasn't been that long. And you're going to see players being bored within the next couple weeks, which means anybody going in trying to actually learn this and enjoy it and try to do something with it isn't going to have a chance. You're going to have a bunch of people and players running around with more money than they know what to do with, more kits than they know what to do with, messing with everybody who's actually trying to get stuff done. Now, I get it. They're putting in way more hours. Understand that. That is their job, and they're totally fine to be doing that. And after a few months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, you're getting about 2 to 3 months before the end of the wipe. I completely understand that that's the case. When we're to a point right now, we're in the first 2 or 3 weeks, and you're trying to do one of the first tasks, first 30 tasks, whatever you want to call it, and somebody's already using a $900,000 gun, 900,000 ruble gun, again, whatever you want to call it, and you're running around with a little Mosin, it sucks. So that brings me to another point, which is the Scavs right now, which are beyond overpowered. They were bad last wipe. They dumbed them down, which I found to be in a pretty good spot the majority of last wipe. And I don't know what they did now. They are so accurate, it's not even funny. So not only are you dealing with Chads running around in ground zero and beginning customs quests and whatever else, and woods, and the other side of shoreline picking you off, to now you have Scavs that after you fight that battle, you're fighting 5 of them. And then you add the sound in on top of it where you can't hear anybody around you. It's made it almost unplayable for a lot of people. But these people don't have voices because Nikita doesn't listen to them. I mean, they don't really listen to anybody, but... And I get it. TwitchCon was the other day, and he said he's going to make the progression longer next wipe. Okay, fine. That's next wipe. That is 8 months from now. That is not a few weeks from now. The wipe just happened. I think to fix all this, the progression doesn't need to be slowed down. Arena is your biggest enemy right now in the Tarkov main game. And I really don't care what anybody says. I think Arena's fine. I don't personally enjoy it. I think a game that has this much stuff with it when it comes to limbs, ammo, inertia, whatever else, is not great for a shooter type, PvP only, whatever you want to call it. It's not a hero shooter, but just a 5v5. There's too many variables. You see it in the main game all the time. Me, a little Timmy, goes in and hits somebody in the face once, and they spent how much on their kit and they're level 40. You can't have that in a competitive shooter. You just can't. It just doesn't work that way. It shouldn't work that way. It's fun. Can be fun. But I think when you have a failing game, and the company controls both games, and they always said there was going to be some sort of progression, which I don't disagree. There should be something. But to completely go into a game mode where it's every man for themselves, to walk out with 3,000 experience, to not do anything, to completely lose, and then still gain rubles for just not coming in last place. You're forcing people to play a game that was dying. It didn't work. It didn't do what you thought it was going to do. Everybody was excited and it ended really quick. And instead of just working on it and keeping it as that, everything went into a direction of, hey, you want an advantage in main, go play arena. And you either have to buy it or have EOD at the time or the unheard now. I think the fact that you can win a couple matches and get enough GP to get a med case is ridiculous. And not to mention the other plethora of guns in there that you don't have to work for. The ammo that's in there that you don't have to work for. And let's be honest, you can go into arena and not have any skill, have your team win, and walk out with a win. I don't think I'm too far off here. Again, maybe I'm coming off with a honeymoon phase of the game and it's starting to wear down. I'm not giving up on it. I'm going to continue playing it. I might need the break here and there. But to cut this down a little more, I think the found and raid status needs to be reverted. The experience and rubles that come out of arena need to be non-existent or very minimal. I'm not saying it shouldn't exist. If you are putting your time into arena, you should get something out of it, but this is too much. I think the scavs need to be turned down. Sound needs to be fixed, like always. Anyways, that's all I got for now. I mean, I didn't really touch on too much, and I'd love to do this a little more with it. So leave comments below or any questions, concerns, or views that you have, and let's talk about it. You know, we do love the game, and we do have a podcast coming up soon called Too Old to Game, where it's going to be the two of us, and we're going to talk about situations like this and what's going on in the online community and what's going on Twitch and Twitter and Tarkov and Overwatch, whatever else we play, all that stuff, right? And I think we need some more people talking about stuff, and not from a high-end perspective and not from a dev perspective, but from a normal dad perspective. A normal 3 to 4 hour a night, if you're lucky, a few times a week player. And streamers and things of that nature. Anyways, that's it for me right now. Go have yourself a Timbit, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.